All right, let's talk about Candida. If you feel like you've been fighting a losing battle against it, you are not alone. Today, we're going to look at this from a completely new angle, one that might just be the key to getting rid of it for good. So let's just start with a huge question. What if the real problem isn't the yeast itself? What if the problem is the environment it's living in? I mean, think about it. Instead of trying to attack the invader, what if we just made its home totally unlivable? This one idea, this one little shift, really changes the entire game. So to really get this, we've got to reframe a problem. This isn't some kind of alien invasion happening inside your body. It's more like a delicate ecosystem, like a rainforest, that's just been thrown completely out of balance. And here's the thing that trips a lot of people up. Candida is supposed to be there. We all have it. It's a totally normal fungus that lives in our gut, on our skin. The problem isn't that it exists. The problem is when it starts to take over. And that only happens when its natural enemies, the good bacteria, get wiped out. So what's knocking our ecosystem out of balance? Well, the most obvious answer is really just the tip of the iceberg. The real root causes are way more widespread than you'd think. And honestly, they probably affect almost every single one of us. Okay, so culprit number one, no surprise here, is antibiotics. They're basically like a bomb going off in your gut. They don't just kill the bad bacteria, they take out all the good guys too, the very ones that are supposed to be keeping Candida in line. But the story absolutely does not end with the pills your doctor gives you. And this is where it gets crazy. Just look at this chart. A staggering 80%. 80 of all antibiotics sold in the US aren't even for people. They're used in agriculture, mostly to help farm animals gain weight faster and survive in crowded conditions. And that has a massive, massive effect on all of us. Here's how that chain reaction works. Those antibiotics create drug-resistant bacteria, we call them superbugs, in the animals. That gets into their manure, and that manure is then used to fertilize the soil that our vegetables grow in. So even if you've never taken an antibiotic in your life and you're vegetarian, you could still be getting exposed through your food. It's wild.
So we know our good bacteria are getting hammered, but that's really only half the story. The real aha moment, the big revelation, comes when you understand the exact kind of environment that Candida absolutely loves. This right here is the secret to getting rid of it for good.
It all boils down to pH. You see, your healthy gut bacteria create a naturally acidic environment. Candida hates that. But when those friendly bacteria are gone, the environment can shift and become more alkaline. And for Candida, an alkaline environment isn't just nice, it's like a 5-star resort where it can multiply like crazy. So what's pushing your body into this alkaline state that Candida loves so much? Well, it's a few really common things. A diet high in sugar is a huge one. Chronic stress, which pumps out cortisol, does it too. Even things like birth control pills, pregnancy, and antacids, they all shift your body's pH and basically roll out the red carpet for yeast. And here's the kicker. This is the truly sneaky part. Candida actually makes its own perfect home. It eats sugar, and then its waste product is ammonia, which is a super alkaline substance. So the more Candida you have, the more alkaline your system gets, which creates the perfect environment for, you guessed it, even more Candida to grow. It's this awful self-perpetuating cycle. Okay, so now that we know what's happening behind the scenes, let's talk about how it actually shows up. Does any of this sound familiar? Let's quickly run through the signs that you might have a Candida overgrowth. So let's see if any of this rings a bell. Number 1, intense cravings for sugar and carbs. That's literally the yeast screaming to be fed. You might also have itchiness, especially in private areas, or a white coating on your tongue, that's oral thrush. Other big ones are chronic fatigue, frequent UTIs, bloating, sinus problems, skin issues like athlete's foot, and even achy joints. And here's a lesser-known sign you should know about. Remember that ammonia byproduct we just talked about? Well, it can actually be released as a gas, which can lead to breath that smells a little bit like ammonia. It's a direct physical sign of that nasty cycle we were just looking at. Okay, we've laid out the problem, the root causes, and the symptoms. Now for the most important part, the solution. And this isn't about just fighting a war you can't win. This is about changing the entire battlefield. Here is your 6-step action plan. So here's the roadmap. It's all about rebalancing your body. We're going to starve the yeast, make the environment acidic again, and rebuild our army of good bacteria. The plan involves going keto, taking probiotics, eating fermented veggies, and using some powerful natural tools like oregano oil, apple cider vinegar, and coconut oil.
So why keto and fasting? It's a brilliant 1-2 punch. First, you completely cut off Candida's #1 food source, which is sugar. But second, when your body starts burning fat for fuel, it produces ketones. And ketones are naturally acidic. So you're literally starving the yeast while making its home totally hostile at the same time.
Next up, you have to bring in the reinforcements. Taking a good probiotic and eating fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi is how you repopulate your gut with all those friendly bacteria. You're essentially rebuilding your body's own natural defense force so it can keep Candida in check all by itself. And finally, we bring in some targeted weapons. Apple cider vinegar is fantastic for helping restore that correct acidic pH, and coconut oil contains some really potent natural antifungal properties. See, these aren't just random remedies. They are specific tools designed to change the environment. So the big takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. The goal isn't just to kill some yeast today. It's to create an internal ecosystem where it can't overgrow in the first place. The real question is no longer how do I fight Candida, it's how do I stop making my body such a perfect home for it. So, are you ready to change the environment?